Hey, Jay here. We've got a really cool project for you. It's something a little different. This is a Honda Grom, and I have one of these bikes. This one's Donnie's. Really fun bike. People go, what do you got a Grom for? Well, they're 125cc 4-stroke fuel injected bike, so you don't have to jet them or anything like that. So a lot of the problems we had with the Ruckus, carburetor would always be clogged up and all that, and the things are just ridiculously slow, you don't have with this bike. So it's fuel injected, has 4 gears you can actually shift, and it feels like a little moto bike when you're on it. So a lot of guys who ride moto really like this bike as a little bit of a dual sport to get around town or at the racetrack, that kind of thing. So they're really fun little bikes. We've done a bunch of little mods to this thing to make this thing a little bit more sporty, a little bit more off-road. Most of the guys that modify these bikes are street guys, making them good for drag racing or racing around the street. We did the opposite of that and made it a little bit more off-roady. So we're going to show you everything we did to it right now. Okay, so the first major problem with this bike is that the stock forks are very soft. And so Racetech actually went through these things for us, and they put a spring that's twice as stiff as the stock one. And it seems to have solved the problem of just hitting potholes and just bottoming the thing out. So now it feels like a real bike. The stock shock is plenty sufficient for guys, you know, even at 200 pounds, no problem. So the forks being stiffer, huge improvement. We put knobby, kind of off-roady motocross type tires on this thing that are still street legal. We got those things on here. And then a big improvement up front is we wanted to modify the handlebar area. Applied made us some clamps. They have some clamps that are, a standard clamp that they have is about a bit taller than stock and still fits these Renthal pit bike bars. This is what we use, pit bike bars with some Cycra handguards. We had to do a little customizing to make them fit well. We had to, you know, cut them off here because it make them shorter. We use these mounts. We're able to fit these up here. I've got our Acerbis mirrors to keep the man off our case when we get stopped, if that ever happens. So we're still legal. ASV makes some really cool levers. Way overkill for this project, but because they're high-end levers, but they're completely adjustable and really a really nice lever. We have the ASV lever on the brake and clutch side. Also, we have the Spider grips on here, which are a street grip. Comes with the ends cut off. They also have motocross, all types of different grips. So MotoSeat does all of our, you know, high-end motocross builds, and they build us whatever we want. In this case, we went for like a more comfy feel. Obviously, we don't need a gripper on this thing since we're not riding around the track or on the trail. We got this suede on here. We've treated it to hold up. Got this kind of carbon look on the side here that's printed in. A really cool custom seat cover to match this thing. The suede look kind of has it, you know, look a little bit more adventure, off-road look, you know, for this thing. So on the Grom, the stock fender comes way down here, as everybody knows. They sell Fender eliminator kits, but since we're going to be riding this thing off-road a little bit on, you know, trails and at the track, we're going to be going through water and mud. We don't want this thing flicking up a bit, so we just cut it back, mounted up these Tusk blinkers, which are way trimmer. We have those in the front as well. We're able to do those, and TST has the blinker pigtails and relays that we use to make all this happen. So our only real performance mod was the FMF pipe, which is a bolt-on deal, and the bike seems to get a lot more bottom and mid power. Don't know if we really increased any top end speed, but definitely a lot snappier bottom and mid, and it's not obnoxiously loud. It is louder than the stock one, obviously, but not crazy at all. Two Brothers has some really nice aluminum foot pegs, bolt right up, and a little bit better grip, and still not too tough on your tennis shoes or whatever you're wearing. Gives us a bit more of a moto feel, similar wide peg that we'd use on a motocross bike. We had the Supersprox rear sprocket for our drive system here. We have a few cool works connection pieces on here. They don't sell anything specific for this bike. We were able to match up some stuff. So we have our engine plugs here, our front brake cap that we're able to figure out off of other models that Honda makes. Too much fun. Just a blast to ride. So fun bike, fun build.